Hey, folks, welcome to Shooting Up North. I'm your host, Lewis Carlin. We're here right here on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're watching for the first time, please consider hitting that subscribe button. If you want to follow me on social media, I'm on Twitter at Shooting Up North, Instagram at Alliance PW Network, or feel free to join our Facebook group, the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Okay, so this is Shooting Up North. Impact Wrestling news and notes for March 15th, 2022. So let's get right into it. Deonna Purrazzo. This is from Fightful.com. Deonna Purrazzo, I don't know what's to come of my relationship with Ring of Honor, with Tony Khan buying them. Deonna Purrazzo, she was speaking with Muscle Man Malcolm. And so here's what Fightful.com has to say. It says Deonna Purrazzo is currently the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. She's also a member of the Impact Wrestling roster. Now that Tony Khan has purchased Ring of Honor, the possibility of Deonna Purrazzo finally getting her match against her friend, or I should say best friend, Britt Baker, is even closer to becoming a reality. It says, in fact, Deonna tells Muscle Man Malcolm that Baker is the one woman she wants to face in AEW above all else, but she's currently unaware of her relationship with Ring of Honor as it relates to Tony purchasing the company. And here's a quote from Deonna Purrazzo. Says, oh, I'd love to defend it against Britt Baker, talking about the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. But there's a lot of other women in AEW that you know, and obviously I don't know what's to come of my relationship with Ring of Honor and Tony buying Ring of Honor, and I just don't know. There's a lot of unanswered questions for everyone right now, and everything's just a little bit up in the air. But I would love to be at Supercard of Honor. If I'm asked to be there, I will be there 100% defending my Ring of Honor Women's World Championship, she said. But yeah, it's Britt. We've talked about that for years. It feels like now there's such a plethora of women's talent there that I think really could be showcased better and more. I'd love to wrestle Chris Statlander. I'd love to wrestle Leela Hirsch. I'd love to wrestle Red Velvet. I would personally love to see a one-on-one against Ty Conte. There are so many women. There were so many women there that would be first-time matchups for me and potential dream matches. Tony Khan has previously stated, potential dream matches. That's the end of Deonna Purrazzo's quote. Then it goes on here. The article continues. Tony Khan has previously stated that he will be the booker of Ring of Honor. So Tony Khan would be absolutely crazy if he didn't use Deonna Purrazzo at Supercard of Honor. He would be absolutely nuts if he doesn't take full advantage of Deonna Purrazzo being the Ring of Honor Women's Champion. He'd be crazy if he did something silly like stripped her of the title and then had like a tournament or a one-on-one match to determine the new Ring of Honor Women's Champion. He'd be crazy if he didn't use Deonna Purrazzo. This is a golden opportunity for Tony Khan to bring Deonna Purrazzo to AEW and give us a couple of dream matches. Purrazzo against Britt Baker, Purrazzo against Ty Conte, Purrazzo. Well, I don't want to say dream matches. Maybe that's going too far, but against Red Velvet, as she said, there's a lot of potentially fantastic matchups for Deonna Purrazzo in AEW and working Ring of Honor as the Ring of Honor World's Women's Champion. So Tony Khan would be just absolutely out of his mind if he didn't take full advantage of having Deonna Purrazzo as a Ring of Honor Women's Champion and showcasing her at Supercard of Honor. At least Supercard of Honor. He'd be crazy if he didn't do that. But I have a feeling we're going to see Deonna Purrazzo at Supercard of Honor. Okay, so Good Brothers. The Good Brothers actually, Impact Wrestling superstars Good Brothers have been added to New Japan Pro Wrestling's Windy City Riot. Again, Fightful.com, Fightful.com putting out the news today. It says 3 additions have been made to New Japan Pro Wrestling's Windy City Riot. New Japan Pro Wrestling announced that Impact Wrestling superstars the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows, along with New Japan Pro Wrestling superstar Great Khan, are coming to the Windy City Riot on April 16th. Also announced is Will Ospreay, Jay White, John Moxley, Tomohiro Ishii, and more. No matches have been announced yet for the Good Brothers, but it's good to see that the Good Brothers are getting are going to be on a New Japan Pro Wrestling show, because I know eventually we're going to see them in Japan, but it's good to see them on that they're going to be taking part in the Windy City Riot, which is Chicago, April 16th. Under 100 tickets left available for the show. Tickets are available on Eventbrite. I could only assume, because I know Josh Alexander was getting booked on a lot of New Japan Pro Wrestling shows. So I wouldn't be surprised if they announced Josh Alexander is on this show as well. But as of right now, the Good Brothers on the show, again, they haven't announced who their opponents are going to be, but looking forward to seeing Impact Wrestling's Good Brothers on the New Japan Pro Wrestling Windy City Riot. And it's great to see that they're exchanging talents. You're getting talents, New Japan Pro Wrestling talents in Impact Wrestling, and Impact Wrestling talents now showing up on New Japan Pro Wrestling as well. We've seen Chris Bay, we've seen Josh Alexander, as I've mentioned. Now the Good Brothers. Be great to see some other talent going over there as well. So once again, the Good Brothers will be on New Japan Pro Wrestling's Windy City Riot on April 6th. Okay, so I was reading this today. Actually, Vincent wasn't originally supposed to be a part of the Honor No More faction in Impact Wrestling, but he was in the right place at the right time. This is according to Tommy Dreamer on his House of Hardcore podcast, and I'm getting this again from Fightful.com. So as he says, Vincent wasn't supposed to be a part of the original group. Actually, Tommy Dreamer, there's a quote here from Tommy Dreamer that doesn't make a incredible amount of sense, but I'm gonna read it anyway. But you kind of get the idea. It says from Tommy Dreamer, he goes, "You kind of fell into this situation. Shit happens. You know, you were not part of the original group. You went to Impact just to have a meeting and show your face." Well, I guess it does kind of make sense. When I initially read it, it wasn't, but it seems kind of clear now. Even though I'm a big fan of yours and a bigger fan every single week, one of the members who, it says washing to be in the group, I'm thinking wishing, I think it's a misspell, wishing to be in the group, gets COVID, and we're like, and it doesn't mention which member got COVID that wasn't able to be a part of the group, and we're like, we have to do this, and you were there. That worked out for you because you were having a match. Hey, this guy is pretty good. I know you were good, but hadn't seen you wrestle in forever. I love the look and character. You were handed the ball and you scored for yourself. You're a part of a hot group and a hot angle within the world of Impact Wrestling, Tommy Dreamer said. So some of it makes sense. Some of it kind of is like, what is he talking about? You know, but it does say here, Honor No More would add Kenny King to the group in the coming weeks, but it doesn't say that Kenny King had COVID. I know Kenny King had COVID back in 2020, so I don't know if Kenny King was the one who was wishing to be a part of the group, but he got COVID, or maybe it was somebody else. But Vincent wasn't supposed to be a part of the original group, but I'm glad he is, because Vincent's fantastic. I'm a big fan of Vincent. He's been doing really well, and I hope they do sign Vincent to a long term. I hope they sign them all to a long term deal. I'm waiting for an announcement to be made that Taven, Bennett, Kenny King, and Vincent have all signed with Impact Wrestling. They're all great talents. But once again, Vincent was not supposed to be a part of the original Honor No More group. Okay, so some more news and notes here. Actually, let me pull this up here. The latest edition of Sami Callihan's Callahan Uncensored with Jonah is now online. And let me find, here we go. So the Impact Wrestling digital media match of the week is Speedball Mike Bailey going one-on-one with Channing Decker as they face off. It was taped in Toronto at a Destiny World Wrestling show. Destiny would be a perfect developmental up here in Canada for Impact Wrestling, and you kind of see a lot of Impact talent on Destiny, but. But anyway, Mike Bailey and Channing Decker. Actually, George, if you're familiar with George the Iceman, George the Iceman actually owns Destiny World Wrestling. In case you weren't familiar, I know you have the Iceman Intel, but George Iceman actually he runs Destiny World Wrestling. In case you weren't familiar with that, but Mike Bailey one-on-one with Channing Decker. The match was taped at Destiny World Wrestling. As I said, if you're not familiar with Channing Decker, actually Channing Decker was actually in Impact Wrestling. Wasn't signed, but he had a few matches with Impact Wrestling back in 2018 with Trent Gibson, and they were called the Fraternity. They were a tag team known as the Fraternity. So Trent Gibson, Channing Decker, back in 2018. I think they had a match with the Falaba and one I can't remember who his partner might have been, but there were other matches as well. But he has had a few matches in Impact Wrestling, and he's the digital match of the week is Speedball Mike Bailey against Channing Decker. Channing Decker, very, very talented wrestler, very big up here in Ontario. I've seen a few of his matches live, and he's just fantastic. I'm hoping that maybe Impact Wrestling's taking a look at Channing Decker. He would be a very good fit for Impact Wrestling, but I'm looking for, I haven't seen the match yet. It's now available on YouTube and Impact Plus. Speedball Mike Bailey against Channing Decker. Actually, when I'm done with this update, I'm probably going to go watch that match. I heard it was really, really good, so I'm looking forward to that one. Once again, Speedball Mike Bailey one-on-one with Channing Decker is available now on YouTube, Impact Wrestling's YouTube, and Impact Plus. It's actually I believe it's their Ultimate Insiders YouTube subscription service. So go ahead and check that out. And that's it really. That's it. Actually, one more thing. Impact Wrestling's BTI this week. The feature match will be Dina one-on-one with Good Brothers Carl Anderson. So that's a feature match this week on Impact Wrestling's BTI before the Impact. And that's it. That's it in the world of Impact Wrestling. So this is Shooting Up North. This has been Impact Wrestling News and Notes for March 15th, 2022. As always, I'm always watching the news. Anything breaks, of course, I'll be back. But until then, thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye. And stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye-bye.